everybody, look who I found! Oh my god! Hashtag OMG. Look who I found, he just sort of appeared and I was like, oh.
Yeah, we could just stand the whole time. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. There's a fan out there who gave me a little white wolf, and I have it, and I was meditating, and I forgot it, okay? But I have it with me upstairs. It was meant to be here with me, and she knows who I'm. You know who you are, so there you are.
The white wolf is there.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to place Gilbert the chicken. He's down there. He's present for the whole interview.
What's in the bag?
You don't want to look in that bag. Seriously, man. Anyway, how are you doing?
Good.
So,
good.
how are you feeling? This is the last day.
No, it's been really pretty wild, but nice, you know.
It's nice to see you again as well.
Yeah, you too.
We had a chat yesterday.
It was very quick. It just went like that.
It does, like it goes by so quickly. So just a bit of admin. Oh, first of all, at the back, can we turn on the counter, please? Because I don't have a note of the time here. And if you're standing, just stand within the white lines, please, as well. Okay, cool. Let's get to it.
Yes.
Okay, so how are you feeling now? At the end of this chapter,
When I see my face sometimes.
I never really look up there, and I don't like it.
No, don't look above your head.
I'm glad I didn't eat before this.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do you feel
ahead.
at the end of this chapter of the Marvel journey? Because it's not over yet. But
Right. How do I?
Yeah. How did you feel?
I feel probably just a little bit nostalgic because it's been about 10 years since this started, and look at the movies and just see how much younger I looked.
No,
but it's
his
good.
skin is amazing close
It's
up,
good.
by the way. Not an ounce of makeup as well. I'm very
No.
jealous.
But nostalgic is the right word. Just obviously, as you've seen the last movie, some people are not coming back with us apparently. So that is kind of surreal. But sort of, Marvel is an incredible place where somehow they're always thinking ahead, and I'm really excited about this next phase, and I'm just happy to be included and just to see where they're going to take it.
Thanks. So now I'm not going to talk. We talked about Endgame yesterday and the ending. You've all seen Endgame, right? Okay, I'm not going to ask you what you thought of the end. I did that yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay. So, the spoiler culture thing, and we've had Game of Thrones, and we've had Endgame, and all this stuff. What do you think about spoiler culture, we'll call it in a sense? Because when I was young, I watched films, and I was like, that was great, but there was no internet.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I'm not happy with the spoiler thing. I just don't see why. The whole point of it is to go, and for all of us to have this experience together. That's why I still like going to the movies. My first two movies that I ever saw in a theater when I was young was Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And then Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yes.
And I was in a theater with other people, and Jurassic Park, when I saw that, I will always remember that experience. We all shared it together, and so I come from that more communal kind of movie experience, and there's something about you have like something you all relate to when you're there experiencing at the same time, But now we have to be careful because a lot of people like to spoil things, or can't contain their excitement or their feelings about what they're seeing, and so you have to kind of be selective.
So annoying, because it came out on a Friday. I was filming up in Scotland for doing a documentary. Rushed down. I was ill, and I was in the cinema ill, and I was like, I just have to see this now on Saturday morning, otherwise,
right?
I'm going to read something. So I'm
Very
with you.
tough.
I'm with you. I'm not into it at all. Into the film, not into the culture of the spoilers. So tell me, what have you learned being Bucky during your time as Bucky? What have you learned as an actor?
What have I
or as a
learned
person?
as an actor? A lot. I look at some of the. I look at that Captain America: First Avenger movie now, or even the Winter Soldier movie, and I there's so many things I would have probably done very differently than I did. It's weird, I definitely grew up a lot while making these movies, and I just see and how, you know, places where I was nervous or uncomfortable or, you know, in a certain way, and how comfortable I've gotten now in terms of, you know, approaching characters and stuff. Like, I probably could go back and do all these other things I didn't get to do, but, you know, yeah, this was an interesting character, I mean, in a way, because, you know, he deals a lot, it's about the past, and we all have a past, you know, and sometimes you can't change your past, you just have to accept it, and that's really difficult in life sometimes, you know, but you can't move forward unless you accept the past, right? I mean, that's the whole point of it, is that you're learning something from it, you know, and this character sort of comes from that, you know, that idea, and that's a very human thing. So for me, it was nice to sort of explore that, you know, in doing while I get to do what I love. You know, I feel very lucky that I was able to kind of have that experience.
Now, I think Bucky could probably be described. I'd describe him as he's slightly intense. He's an intense fellow. And I was speaking to David Harbour just before you, and I was saying, how do you channel your Harbour zone? Okay, so what zone do you go to? How do you channel that intense energy, the Stan zone? Where do you get that from?
The Stan zone.
Yeah, I'm just basically saying the surname and adding zone to the end of it. You know, it was late last night, so how do you channel that intense energy? Where does it come from?
I don't know. You know, I am a restless individual, and so I will always. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. You don't. You just. This was. You know, there were times when this character, as you know, didn't have a lot to say and things like that, and sometimes I like that better because you get to sort of use other ways to kind of communicate things, which is sometimes you know we do in life. Like, it's always interesting to see someone's like who's talking and they look really confident, but their hand is doing this the whole time. I mean, maybe
and
not.
I'm like, I'm just going to be watching.
Yeah, but like, you know, you have like behavior and things that you kind of read in people, and so I don't know. I just try to pay attention to what's written and then kind of find a way to communicate something, I guess.
So in the new Disney Plus series, I read, it may have been a flippant remark, but I just read something online about you'd like to maybe see Bucky do some normal stuff, maybe like, because we haven't seen him do anything normal like dating and things like that. So I wanted to ask you.
Dating, right.
Yeah, dating. What would a date with Bucky Barnes be like? I imagine it would be quite quiet. I bet I'd be chatting like mad, going, well, this guy's just so bloody quiet. So
going on a date with Bucky Barnes would have been like meeting me in high school. That's what it would be like. You know, he'd probably reference things like really excited that he knew something, you know, like, hey, have you seen this movie? It's you know, you know, like he'd reference some movie from the 80s, like, you know, and everybody would be like, that movie's been around for 40 years. But, you know, I think he, like, the way I see it is that he would have this sort of kind of almost, you know, innocent thing to him that we haven't seen yet in a way, because he's having to discover the world all over again, you know, in a sense, and we haven't seen any of that, and how he might do that, like him going shopping for groceries.
Yeah, or using
like, what
Tinder.
would that be like, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
using them apps.
Don't touch that with your metal arm. Like, I mean, what do you,
Totally. Oh, damn.
but it could be funny too, you know? Like, there's all these things that we haven't seen yet, so.
Cool. And I've got a fan question here that got sent in. So let's imagine, I love this question, let's imagine Sam and Bucky are getting ready to hit the road on a big mission. They need some tunes, some songs to get them motivated. What would be on their shared playlist? That's from Evan, Missouri via Instagram.
Sam would definitely pick Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice.
And Bucky would probably, you know, listen to the soundtrack of Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my God, and then just get your tissues
like, that's
out.
too serious, dude. I'm not listening to that. No. He'd probably play like Hall & Oates. I mean, see, this is the problem. I mean, that's what I would play.
Yeah, exactly.
It just becomes, you know, sort of integrated, I guess.
I kind of like, I always I guess I imagine that Bucky would maybe be sort of dark, sort of post-Rocky, kind of whatever.
No, but you got to remember though, at least he thought,
Yeah.
okay, that he was like a very, pretty cool dude, like in the 50s. Like he had I always thought he had like a good grasp of things in the world and was very outgoing and
Yep.
kind of charismatic and sort of had this, kind of like chip on his shoulder, if you will, and then suddenly this whole thing happened. So it'd be kind of interesting to see him gain that confidence back. We've seen him now process things for a while, and I think while that's always going to happen, it's time for moving forward in a way.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Now, if Bucky could be entrusted with one of the stones, which do you think?
Well, definitely the time stone. I mean, that makes the most sense, going back and, I mean, who wouldn't want the time stone? Think about it. You go back for dinner in 1962 and then come back to 2019.
Yep, I would go back
Yeah.
when Iron Brew wasn't sugar-free. But anyway, a Scottish drink.
You could do that.
Should have brought you a can of Iron Brew, but it's crap now. They don't have the sugar in it. So I'm going to ask you, that's a great segue, some time travel questions.
Yes.
We did this yesterday.
My favorite.
Your favorite. I can see how excited you are.
Well,
You're looking at me like, Jesus Christ, Claire, again. But I've got new ones for you.
do you? Okay.
I've been up since 4 because of my cat. I've had a lot of time to think about these
Oh,
questions.
because of your cat?
Yep.
What kind of cat is it?
Big fat ginger called Mac. Yep.
Very
And he
cool.
always gets brought up during at least like 1 or 2 interviews that I do. Jeff Goldblum asked me a lot about my cat.
Really?
I got him
I'm
purring.
not surprised.
Yeah.
Jeff.
I mean, that was a wild interview. That was for the Thor Ragnarok. That's a whole other interview. So let's get to these time travel questions. Okay, so what is your favorite time travel movie apart from Hot Tub Time Machine?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
I mean, you can't go wrong. When I was little, I
Yes.
actually had a real problem because I couldn't decide between the sequel and the first one. And the first one is unbelievable. And everybody always said sequels, except for Terminator 2. Sequels were always like, problematic. But I love that Back to the Future too.
Oh, I love
Because
it.
you get to be in 3 worlds.
Yeah, and just the things like the hoverboard and the shoes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it back there. Love it. If you could relive any day from your past,
Any day?
any day, just one day, which would it be?
God. Well, for the purposes of this, I could relive April 1st, 2010, because that's when I got a call from Kevin Feige from an unknown number that I got this job. That was a pretty...
What were you like? Were you like, oh my God? Or was it just like, thanks?
Well, I didn't pick up the phone because I saw it was an unknown number, so I didn't know who it was going to be. And then his message, I was like in bad cell service, so his voice kept cracking throughout, and I was like getting half of it. So, and then it was April 1st, which is in America's April Fool's Day, so I thought it was a joke, and then...
Oh, so you go back and just be like, yeah, cool, thanks. Just like, got
but
you.
it was a good day. It was definitely...
I got you, Kev. I got you, Kevy boy. It's all good. If you could travel back and witness one event from history, which?
God,
Bit of a
one
weight to it,
event
yeah,
from
what?
history.
See, I would go back to like Woodstock
You really
and see
were up
how
till
crazy
4.
it was. Yeah.
Woodstock? What?
Yeah, do Woodstock. Go back and
Woodstock?
just have a bit of a time. Just watch the hippies do their thing. But yeah, and then come back. I wouldn't want to do anything too
One
heavy.
event from history. I don't know. Like I love Charlie Chaplin and silent movies and all that, and Buster
Oh.
Keaton and things like that. I would love to have maybe gone back and witnessed, one of those guys doing those movies. Have you ever seen Buster Keaton? The kind of stuff they used to do, like
Yeah.
that was all real. There was no if a house fell on him, he was dead. Like there was no real special effects. Anyway,
That's a good answer. Spend a
maybe
day
I'll
on
do that.
set. Yeah, good answer. Better than the Woodstock thing. I was thinking about that this morning, but my cat was hungry. So tell me, sorry again, Mac, Jesus. Fan question. This is from Critty on Instagram. Which was the most fun video to make from your 1 Minute Men channel?
Well, there are not a lot of them. So I think the gym one was really fun. I had this video where my friend and I were making fun of working out because working out is sometimes really stupid. You know, no, I mean, I love it, but like, so we were just making fun of how intense you can be in the gym. Do you ever see intense people in the gym?
Yeah. Can you tell me, because you're a guy, right? So when I and you're a
Last time I
you're a
checked.
gym going guy. Like my husband's not the muscly type or anything, but I'm thinking for the movie you'd have to do all of these kind of things. You know those guys in the gym that just stand in front of the mirrors and go, ooh. What are they doing? And I'm like, I'm purple, I stink. And
I don't know. That
Like,
yeah, I was never.
is
one of
that
those
you, or you
people.
just like leave me alone? I'm in the corner.
Yeah, I try to kind of hide for the most part as best as I can, you know. But yeah, I was never that intense person, you know.
No, yeah, I'm just kind of like a more kind of leave me alone. I'm here for a reason. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, I'm obsessed with this idea. I had to go stunt driving in a stunt car the other day for a thing, and it was
Stunt driving.
Yep, and it was amazing in here in the XL Centre. So I've always wondered about. I never want to be an actor. I would hate it. Like I'm
Right.
super shy on a stage, as you can tell. But what is the most fun skill you've had to learn as an actor? Because like guns and shooting things and riding horses, I always think those things must be so much fun.
Well,
Any skills you picked up?
yeah, I think this doing stunt stuff, you know, is. I mean, look, we got to do a lot of that fighting in the Winter Soldier movie and in Civil War and stuff, and that was really fun. And I got to do a little bit of stuff with cars in other movies, and it's really what happens is the adrenaline is really kind of kicks in, and you almost have like a sixth sense about you. It's like a superpower. It's very crazy. And anybody that are stunt people who do this for a living, you know, they always talk about this adrenaline that they feel. I mean, you almost it's crazy. It comes from a certain part that we all have that we don't access very often, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe any of that, yeah.
So,
kind of-
what about accents? Are you good with accents when you're having to do a film? I mean, because some actors I always think,
Accents are
God, they're
really
great.
tough. No, accents are really hard for me. They are. I mean, like there were 2 movies I had to do serious accents in. You know, the last one with Tom Holland. I can't wait for you to see that film. You should see it, yeah. But
Yes.
that one and then another one, and I had to like literally I have to play it in my ear over and over again. I have to just. Some people can pick it up right away. For me, it's always very difficult, you know.
I mean, you lived in London for a while.
No, do not make me try and.
I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do, don't you worry.
No,
but-
it's gonna be so terrible. But you know what? My favorite kind was always like the one that from like not from the set, not like the posh like London accent, but the one that was more like. The more they always want like really like this, you know, like fucking.
What?
And do you know that movie Snatch? I love that movie so much.
Yes.
It's such a good movie, and I love when he was like, "Get that dog off my seat."
I mean, that's
It's like,
good.
like I have a friend. His name's Kevin. I know it sounds bizarre, my friend Kevin, but anyway, and he's got a great accent, and I always kind of mimic him, you know. But the problem is like when I'm around it, I start picking it up, so it becomes like a real like terrible lukewarm half version, which is even worse. Because people will talk to me, I'll be like, "Oh, really?" And then they'll be like, "What are you doing?"
Mate, I've been living here for 17 years and I still can't do an English accent. It is.
You have a great accent, though. That's a really hard accent.
I have to Americanize it when I'm in America because they don't understand if I say, "Can I have a water, please?" They go, "What?" I'm like,
They're gonna.
"Water?"
Where's Walter?
Well, yeah, it's like
Walter's
well,
not here. No, I
Like,
mean.
what do you think I asked? My glass is in front of me and I'm in a bloody restaurant. Water. Jeez.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to curse for a second, but I have my friend who's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And like I always love that. Man, it gets me every time. It's
Can you
just so
attempt a
good.
Scottish accent then?
No.
I will make you try.
Irish is even. Oh my
No,
god.
I
that's
can't
even.
even. I can't even.
I remember I did this movie in Ireland 2 years ago. It's called We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and check it out if you want. It will be on iTunes. But anyway, you know, and I used to have this drive over there, and you know, sometimes you go in and you work for an hour in the morning and you're done. It's like your call time is 5 a.m. and then you can be done at 9 a.m. And you're like, what do I do with my day? And he would drive me home, and Again, excuse me for ruining this beautiful accent, but he would always be like, "Are you gonna get a pint, Sebastian?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna get a pint. It's 9 a.m." He'd be like, "Never too late."
Next time I see you, I want your Glaswegian to be
Oh, well,
perfect.
now I'm not getting ever any Irish roles, any Scottish roles, no one's ever gonna cast me.
No, and Glasgow's hard, I tell you. This is me being posh as well.
Oh, posh.
Yeah, posh.
Don't get me started.
Oh, what?
That's that Doctor Strange guy. Jesus.
Yeah.
And the Loki dude. Try being stuck in an elevator with those two.
Oh, they're incredible. Oh, yes, sorry. Oh, yeah, I can imagine, like, sorry,
Oh,
that's
sorry,
terrible.
sorry. Oh, darling, brilliant. But you're fantastic. No, you are. Every time I see you,
No.
I can't do it. Oh God, the internet.
Hey, honestly, like, we'll do an accent off later. You'll realize you're much better than me. I'm telling you. You're
Listen,
good.
I just want to bang my head against this table.
No, don't do that because we've got fan questions coming up very
That's right.
shortly. So, guys, I'm going to ask another question or two. If you have a question, there's a mic there and a mic there. Oh, the left side of the room, the right side, we're a bit sleepy. I'm surprised you didn't all bang into each other Family Guy style and just collapse. Okay, so I'm going to ask you one last question, then we're going to play a game, and then we're going to do this. Okay? So, geez, whew, like that. You guys were like, oh my God, let's do this. Okay, now yesterday you mentioned directing possibly in the future. That's something that you'd be really interested in. Are there any particular types of films you'd like to get your teeth stuck into, horror or sci-fi, or do you just want to get in there?
Oh, horror is, I think, so hard. I can't. I love horror movies. I really do because they're so difficult, you know. But I don't think that's for me to try there. I'd love to be in a horror movie, but as an actor. But no, I think, you know. I mean, that's why, like, you know, it'd probably be some you know, comedic stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's always the people that, you know. I loved, like, Martin Scorsese and, like, the way he would shoot movies, and you know, Quentin Tarantino and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's just certain things that
They have such a style.
there's a style there, and I feel like if I ever direct anything, I'd probably end up stealing everything from all the best people.
No,
But
what if it's like,
that's
oh,
kind of what everybody does anyway. But anyway, so I don't know, but probably something funny.
We'll watch the space one day, and we'll be saying, God, that is so Sebastian Stan.
Have you guys ever seen this movie, Office Space? Such a good movie.
Anyway, we're going to play a game. Then we're going to speak to these lovely folks. So this is called Either Or, and we played it yesterday, but I have a different set of questions today. There's one that's the same, which I have to ask again. So just choose one, don't think, just choose. Hair, long or short?
Short. I'm just gonna go quick, see what
Okay,
happens.
singing or dancing?
Dancing.
Savory or sweet?
Savory.
Iron Man or Cap?
Captain America.
Okay.
See, if I had long hair, I would have done that thing.
Sam or Cap?
Captain America.
Oh, okay. All right, rock.
Which would be the same thing.
Actually, yeah. Rock or pop?
Sorry?
Rock or pop?
Rock.
Yes. I'm just high-fiving you for that.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing heart here. Daenerys Targaryen or Jon Snow?
Oh, the Jon Snow. No.
Jon Snow.
I would go with Daenerys. I still would. I was struggling with Jon Snow in the last couple episodes. Just, that's my own.
Can we have a mini high five for that? 'Cause
I
feel-
don't know. I mean, get it together.
I know, it's like, come on, man. Jeez.
Grab something, get out
Royal
there. For
blood in you.
God's
Do
sake.
something.
Yeah.
Do something, man. Sorry. It's a question. That's a conversation for baddies. Dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs. I would don't know. Cats are very special.
Okay. Big party or small gathering? I'm on the small gathering end. That's all.
If you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said big party. Now I would have said small gatherings.
I'm right. I'm old, so that's my reason for that. Now, winter or summer?
Always like a good bit of winter.
Do you?
Once in a while, you know. I take cold showers. Yeah, the cold. Look, the cold is good. All right, it gives blood to the system. It's important, you know.
Okay, I'm imagining you in a cold shower, just channeling that.
I just scream
Stan
when
zone.
my neighbor really sort of has a problem with it. But you know, at about the same time every morning, he goes, "There he is."
So we're going with winter?
Yeah, I'll go with winter.
Okay, and that concludes either or. Okay, so let's take it to the fans. You guys were really, really fast. We're going to go with the slow coaches over here, right? Lovely lady here. Go for it.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. You're such a talented actor and a kind human being. And you've made Bucky a very complex character. And I think that a lot of people that kind of struggle with mental problems, with depression, PTSD, or anxiety, really see themselves in Bucky. And I really like that the writers and you made Bucky go to therapy. And I was wondering, what's your take on Bucky's mental state now after the end game? And in general, how do you act this, and what do you do for this character yourself?
Good question.
Good question.
Thank you.
Hang on. I want to tell you guys about this person I was listening to today. It's an answer to your question. I was listening to this YouTube of a man named Gabor Mate, okay, and it's called The Roots of Healing. And I was listening to this podcast today. You can YouTube it, and he's somebody who was saying that at 71 years old, he still has to deal with, certain things that he's always dealt with, even when he was younger. And that's 71 years old. So, I guess for me, when I hear that, I sort of sometimes weirdly get a bit of a comfort, because I go, okay, you know what? We're all gonna have to always just kind of deal with our stuff, no matter what. It's never gonna just go away like that, right? So similarly, I would say, Bucky Barnes is currently in a place where maybe he's gotten a lot better at dealing with, some of his demons, and I'm sure it's always going to continue one way or another, because that's life. But he's also going to be an interesting person to me because of that, because we are, right? All of our sides is what makes us interesting, as long as we accept them. And because he's always going to come from a place like that, he's always going to want to learn and try to strive to overcome. And that's a very important quality to have. So there's some hope for him, therefore,
Thank you.
And for the rest of
and
us.
I hope we see you in Warsaw Comic Con maybe one day.
Warsaw Comic Con.
Yeah. Check it
I would love to go there one time.
Thank you. That's a great question. Okay, over here. Go for it.
Hi, Lord Sebastian.
Hello.
This is a question on behalf of Seb's Rebels.
I just learned about these people.
Yeah. Seb's Rebels, where are you?
Woo!
Okay, what's your
Thank you.
question?
So in Endgame, Hot Tub Time Machine is mentioned, and obviously you're in the film. So do you, as yourself, exist in the MCU as well as Bucky Barnes? So would you get recognized on the street or arrested because people think you're the Winter Soldier?
Nobody.
Good luck with that.
Nobody has confirmed it for me, but I'm just gonna go with yes.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. So that would be a really funny scene, wouldn't it? If me in the MCU sort of just spot Bucky Barnes across the street one day, and I just go back to therapy.
Thank you. Next, this lovely lady here.
Hi, Seb. Maybe a random question, but I really want to know. So, which Disney prince you think you are like most, or you want to be most, and why?
Disney prince?
Yes.
Or princess?
Whichever you like.
Either or, I mean,
These days, well, you know what?
I'll go with the Beast. If you want to be beauty, I'll do the Beast.
That's fine, but Jasmine was one of my
Jasmine?
favorites growing up.
Yep.
I guess I did like The Little Mermaid a lot when I was a kid. I don't know. I haven't I guess maybe I'll just go Little Mermaid. That's probably the easiest one. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you're always my king, by the way.
Oh, that's very sweet.
thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to go with Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, over here, lovely lady.
Hi. So I was wondering, in the Marvel Universe, who would you most like to see Bucky in a romantic relationship with?
In the Marvel universe, who I'd like to see Bucky have a romantic relationship with? No, I
Good
mean,
question.
I mean, I'm very biased, you know. I want that Black Widow scene. I really do. I just want one scene. Is it just so much to ask for? So I need to see that realized first, and then, you know, we'll see.
Thank you. Next up over here.
Hi. So in Endgame, Falcon got the shield. Was there any jealousy with that happening?
Was there any jealousy with that happening?
Yes.
No. I mean, I think I was more shocked about it. But again, because I discovered about it on the day, and I didn't know that we were going to be doing any of that. But again, like I said yesterday, it wouldn't make sense for me, for Bucky Barnes to have that shield. It just wouldn't, you know what I mean? And also, you know, I think, like, if you think about it, Captain America, right, has a lot of responsibilities in terms of leading people and calling the shots and all that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I kind of like to play characters that are sort of, you know, on the edge of the world, so to speak. And I don't know how much of that I would get to do as Captain America unless they made a Captain America that would have to be sort of Bucky Barnes with his demons as well, you know, which is a whole other thing. But it just, at the end of this movie, it just didn't really make sense to me for him to have it.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. Lovely lady in the blue hair. Thank you.
Hi. First of all, it's really cliche, but I just want to say you're like my favorite actor, and just like watching you on YouTube gets me through like really hard stuff.
Well, thank you for that, and I'm happy to hear that.
But my question is a bit random. Like, if you have any superstitions or strange habits or stuff like that you
All
have?
the time. I mean, yeah, I'm probably borderline obsessive compulsive, you know. I mean, definitely. I mean, I have to tap the plane 3 times before I step on every time, you know. I have to.
I touch the plane before I go in.
Yeah,
I don't tap it, but
do
I just
the
go.
tap, and then I try to do it subtly because I don't want like the people on the plane to see me do that and then get worried like I'm some crazy person. Yeah, like, but no, I do, and sometimes like. Remember, Eastern Europe, that's where I grew up. Like, we're filled with superstitions. If my nose is itching, I have to do this 3 times because that means, I don't know, something's happening. If someone steps on my foot, I used to have to step on their foot. You know, like when I was little, they told me, like, you know, if you're lying on the ground and anybody steps over you, then you're going to stop growing. Unless they step back. So it's like, I feel like, you know, it's a marvel that I even get out of my house sometimes.
Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Over here, please.
Oh God, I've just seen myself on the screen. That's pretty horrendous.
Oh, there you are.
Welcome to my life.
Go for it.
So you've worked with most of the Marvel characters now. So for my fantasy, which would you snog, marry, or avoid? Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, or America's arse?
Okay, so snog, marry, or avoid, and what were the choices?
Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, or America's arse?
Marry,
Snog, kiss,
snog, marry,
or avoid.
Oh, that's different than F, marry, kill, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice version.
Snog, marry, or avoid. Okay, and the choices are Captain America's ass, and Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, or America's arse, which is Chris Evans.
Good God, how
Good
am
luck
I gonna,
with that.
How am I going to do that? I would avoid. Well, see, I don't know. Hemsworth and Pratt are so funny. I mean, I think I would marry Chris Pratt, to be honest, because then I wouldn't have to deal with Hemsworth at the gym all the time and me thinking that I'm never gonna look like that and the whole thing.
You could eat a sandwich.
So we'll do that, but then, you know, it's a real tough call between Hemsworth's abs and Captain America's ass. So I'll have to smog.
Snog.
Snog.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It's like, you know, to get off with, like,
To get off with.
yeah, like, yeah.
I'm repeating only what
Sorry,
you said.
to kiss romantically.
To kiss romantically.
Sorry.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry for Captain America's ass. I'm gonna have to go with Chris Hemsworth, and then I'm gonna have to avoid Captain America.
Thank you. Look what you've done to this man. Like, he's putting him through his paces here.
Sounds like I picked the wrong answer.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, lady over here.
Hi, Zeb. I want to ask, what are you thinking about when you're placing your minds elsewhere? Because you always look getting lost when others talking about in the interviews or stuff like that.
Wait, can you repeat the question? I'm always getting roles.
I mean, you often getting lost
Right.
when people talking, or talking and talking when others people talking. You're always losing your mind.
I'm always losing my mind.
You always get lost.
It's true.
Okay, so yeah, are you always losing your mind when other people are talking? You seem all right to me. You seem quite sane.
No, I'm fine. You're probably seeing Anthony Mackie interviews. That's got to be what you're watching, because that's the only one, you know. No, but usually I'm not. I like it better when other people talk, for the most part. You know, I try and listen. That's that's my thing now. I want to listen.
We'll do a reverse interview next time then.
Yeah.
So have we got a time for one more question? Yes?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello again.
Hi.
And my question is, do you have any time that you lose your motivation, like being actor, or like, and what you do to make you get it back?
That's a really good question. And yes, absolutely. There are definitely days where, like everyone, you know, you wake up and you go, what the hell am I doing? And why am I even doing this for? And, you know, I don't want to get out of bed, and I don't, you know, want to talk to anyone. And, you know, I mean, it's just normal to have that. And the best thing that I try and do is, like, now that I've gotten a little bit older, I just try to have a little bit more compassion for myself in those days, you know, and I go, okay, well, it's just a day in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean that my whole week is going to be that way. And I don't have to live my whole week like it's that way, you know? So today, I'm just going to be how I'm going to feel, and that's going to be okay, you know? And then you move past that, and I feel like sometimes we just have to, like, allow ourselves to feel certain things that we're feeling and not try to, like, fix everything and, you know, oh, I'm not happy today, or, like, let me go. But, you know, I like, for me, going on a walk, for example, something when I'm feeling a little bit off helps me a lot, especially if you're in London. I mean, you see people all the time on the street. It helps me watch someone else and see, okay, you know, I'm not alone. Like, so that's kind of what I try.
Good advice. Thank you for your question.
Next, I want to say one sentence. I want to say, tell your best mood, and I know that many people want to say this sentence to you, and I think this is all you, like, always and forever deserved.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good advice there. Okay, so next up.
Hi, I wanted to know what kind of superhero costume you would like Bucky to have in the Sam Bucky series after his bad guy Winter Soldier outfits.
A new superhero costume.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see him have the old costume from the Winter Soldier. I like that Winter Soldier costume. We didn't get to do too much with it, you know, as much as I would love him to.
Don't fancy some spandex?
Is that? Well, hold on. That was leather, first of all.
I'm just thinking
Very
maybe
different than spandex.
bring some color in into your life? Look, I clearly like a bit of color.
No, it's really tough. I really like, black and red are like my favorite colors. I mean, it's always, but it'd be nice to see him in some regular street clothes too.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Okay, cool.
Not the last one.
The last one, last but not least.
Hi, this isn't really a question, but my friend in Ireland can't come to see you, so I'm just here to say hi to you from her.
All right,
Thank
tell her I
you.
said hello.
Hi
You're a
to
good
your
friend.
Now, guys, you have been wonderful, and Stan, Sebastian, you have been absolutely amazing because, we've done 2 interviews now, 2 days in a row, and you've been absolutely wonderful.
Listen, you've been really great, and it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I loved being here in London. It was really great. It's a lot of, I know there's not a lot of time for us to kind of talk and stuff when we see each other in the photo ops and the autographs, but I'm very, very grateful for all of you that came out, and I hope I get to see you soon.
Well, guys,
thank you very much.
He's the beauty to my beast is Sebastian Stan.